For me, the guy, I think he's just an arm robber. He's a criminal.
He is.
Because for me, I don't understand why I should hide something from my son.
A son like that, sister.
Except the boy, the man in question, has been stealing from her from childhood.
The depth of a mother's love is beyond comparison. Yet, it is said that our biggest source of joy could be the foremost harbinger of our pain. We'll be discussing this heart-breaking story of how a mother's love brought an untimely death from the hands of her dear son.
The future of this country belongs to the youth. Therefore, you should bring yourselves together and work towards nation building rather than engaging yourselves into crime and criminalities that wouldn't pay. Do not allow yourself to be involved in cultism. Do not allow yourself to be used by any politician or group of people that will make you go into crime for their own benefit. Make sure that you engage in activities that will be useful to yourselves and then will lead to nation building.
Mommy, Alaja, what's this? You can't give me this. I can't take this from you. If you want to help me, help me.
That's 5 million you've got there.
Mommy, I can't take this from you. I can't. This is just too ridiculous.
Other people do businesses to make profit, but your case is different. How can I continue like this?
This was a woman who pampered her son, an adult as it were, and when she was coming back from the US, the son connived with his gangs. He gave them the tip that his mother was coming with a sum of $50,000. He made his gang trail the car in which he and his mother were traveling in to their house from the airport. When they got home, this guy sneaked out of the living room where the mother was having pleasantries with other members of the family, went to the gates, opened the gates for his gang members to come in. The bad boys had access to the living room and then forced the mom to part with a certain bag.
Scorpion, check the rooms. Alaja, the Americana. Your Jerry's, remove it. Now! Put it on the ground. Scorpion. Yes, sir. Luggage confirmed. Yes, sir. Alaja. How many bags you carry? Two bags? Two. You sure? Boys, let's go.
They took one bag and went out. The boy said, no, that is not the bag. My mother's money is not in this bag that you brought. Go back. This is the color of the bag.
Oh wait, General, why you shoot him now? The woman won't cooperate with you. General, because I give you gun, when you watch my back. Today na your lucky day. More they go.
This was instigated by her son, she loved dearly.
The scenario you just painted, to me, everything is in line with someone who is having personality disorders. Yes. Personality are enduring attributes of an individual that differentiate them from the other person. It must have been there before the age of 18 and continue after the age of 18. It must not be done due to substance use, head injury, or any illness. Let me explain that. It's a way of life that you grew up with. It must have started before the age of 18. Even after the age of 18, it continues. And this particular behavior that we are talking about must not be as a result of substance use. You know, when you take substance, some people, like the village drunk, the way they behave, the day they get rehabilitated, you realize they will stop that behavior and their real personality will come out. Or those people who have had head injury, and after the treatment, you see that there is a change in their behavior. That is a personality caused by the head injury. Sometimes we have what we call illness behavior. When you are sick, you behave in some particular manner that anybody that sees you in that manner will say, what is wrong with her? See the way she's behaving. But it's not you. It's the illness that make you behave that way. But any behavior that have been with you before the age of 18 and continue after the age of 18 and is not due to these three things that we are mentioning, that is your personality. Now, we have our normal and abnormal personality. We have our normal personality, which is the introversion, extroversion. Then we can also discuss personality in terms of proneness to diseases. That's the type A personality. But there is what we call personality disorders. There are 9. Of which this one you mentioned fall in the category 2, the category B, which is the erratic, dramatic type. It's called antisocial personality.
Okay, it's
antisocial personality. Yeah, antisocial behavior, antisocial personality. In that cluster, there are 4 of them there. That's why you have narcissistic personality disorder. That's where you have histrionic personality disorder. That's where you have antisocial personality disorder. When you are talking about antisocial personality disorder, these are people who have no respect for rule, they have no respect for standard, they have no respect for law and order. They make friends easily and they take advantage of anybody. And those are the people you find with this issue of entitlement mentality and all that. So, but you see, these people, their conscience, when you talk about conscience, is not like every other person. They have a different conscience entirely because they feel that they don't feel any sense of remorse. No matter what they have done, if you see them feeling remorseful, maybe because what they did is about to lead to court or police, immediately that issue is fizzled out, you see them back in their...
it may lead to depriving them of a certain
Yes,
thing.
immediately that issue is out, they are back to their real self. Based on what you have said, that thing is not just happening. It has happened severally. While it's growing up, a form of conduct disorder, because before it gets to 18, it is agreed that somebody that is not up to 18, it does not have a personality, but it will have some traits that is developing. So if you see such behavior in somebody that is less than 18, it is referred to as conduct disorders. Now, but once it's 18, it becomes antisocial personality disorder. So what happens to this boy?
He's a man, actually.
This man is the fact that the upbringing is faulty, and that has affected his growing up. His pattern of reasoning, pattern of thinking, pattern of interaction. Disorder is a way of life that when you put into a stressful situation, you have limited option than what you are used to. This is what you are used to that you just go and do. And that which you are used to is not something that is socially acceptable. So as far as this boy is concerned now, I believe from what you have, the scenario you have created, he has personality disorders. That's even as a married man, he cannot maintain his own home. If you establish business for him worth millions, he will squander it, he will go back to square one. And if you are not ready to give him money, he's ready to take it by all means.
That's it, Mom. You can see it up. You can see it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice. Show Tita Gugu Moto.
Yes, Mommy.
That's great. What other?
Mommy, I actually sold them on credit, but they promised to pay very soon. They will pay.
Toby, show me 15 cars on credit. Toby, kí ló ń ṣe náà? This is my life investment. I've spent so much all this year.
Alaja,
And now look at the money.
Alaja, try and understand me. Take it easy. They're going to pay me. It's a company that I'm trying to at least make a mutual relationship between them. I promise you, they're going to pay me. You don't understand? And by the time they pay me, I'm very sure that Alaja will be happy with me. That won't be a problem. You'll be happy with me. Are you going?
I can't continue.
No, Alaja, don't go now.
A typical example of what you just saw now. And stealing from family member, cheating, lying to family member, is not a new thing to them.
As part of the IG's mandate for its officers, he urges officers to stay healthy to secure a healthy nation. You're watching Crime Fighters, the police and you. Keep watching.
You are drunk.
How was your day?
I saw you and that Iskilu guy discussing. What were you guys discussing? You know that guy could be very, very, very dangerous. Toby, I pity you.
Shadia, what are you talking about? What? I don't know this you are talking about.
What am I talking about? You know the kind of mother you have. You can't take anything from her and go away with it. She's going to find out anyhow and anyhow, you know.
Well, you know that we are in this thing together. We need this money together. It's not as if I'm the only one that needed this money. After all, if I get this money, we're going to spend it together.
Yeah, this is why I come to you. At what point should a wife influence the character of the husband?
It's very difficult to change adults. The man is already an adult, his character is formed. A wife can influence to some extent, but it's very difficult to change. In this scenario, if his wife was aware of what he planned and she went along with it, then she also has some sort of disorder. The man knew what he was planning was wrong, which was why he said, don't kill her. All he wanted was the money. So he comes back, let's go to his mom. Forget the fact of how she brought him up. People need to be careful about information. How did he know she had $40,000? How did he know what bag he was in? He may not intend to harm you. He can drop that information carelessly.
So, invariably, what you're saying is that even parents should also be careful with the kind of information they pass to their...
Everybody should be careful. Need to know basis. He doesn't need to know you have that money. Assuming she told him because she wanted him to help get in touch with the people, there's a time and a place to do that. When you're ready to pass the money, you can say, okay, help me call so and so. I don't even have to tell you why you're calling the person.
Especially for a child, you know a pattern.
Exactly.
You know
For me, the guy, I think he's just an armed robber. He's a criminal.
He is.
Because
There's
for
no
me,
doubt
I
about
don't
it.
understand why I should hide something from my son.
A son like that, sister.
Except the boy, the man in question, has been stealing from her from childhood. And the mother always forgives him. Because
That
that's why I
is
said
the
that
pattern you
there
are
are actually
seeing.
patterns, there are things that you would have done. So if I know that I have a thief in my house.
The investigation did not reveal he was stealing. He was a spendthrift. His mother would always give him money or fund his businesses. I want us to talk about his wife, who knew that the husband arranged the hoodlums to kill his mom. She was the one that went to collect the jewelry. She was the one that sold the jewelry. The wife wore the mother-in-law's jewelry, which was what led to police unraveling the case.
You know, you said something in your opening statement that they are bird of a feather, like they are like. I'm sure that was why they got married in the first place. Because sometimes they said men, in his own case, I see him as a man who would just want to have an accomplice as a partner than to have a wife that would always tell him otherwise, don't do this. Most men, for me, they don't like, especially people that are like him, in his own case, they don't like correction. They like a sit down and do as I say. If you don't do what I say, I beat you or you get out. And in our own case, of course, she has seen a family that also has money.
So she's helping.
So she's helping. I don't think there's love there. It's just let us get what we want to get. And he saw that, and that was why she is his partner in crime. In that own case, again, if I still go back to say that these are things for the mother, if the mother really even loved, God rest her soul, if she really loved her son, I wouldn't think that he would allow her she would allow him to marry such a woman. Sometimes you want to get an opposite of your son, somebody that can.
You have a say about who
enables.
No, you love the boy
She
now.
enables him.
For all I care, she can be a commercial sex worker that they met, they enjoyed themselves and say, will you stay with me? And that's it. Because they don't feel, by the nature of the characteristic of their personality, they don't see anything bad in it. They are natural cheats. They are promiscuous. They gamble, they do anything. That's who they are. And when you are looking at it from, why are we medicalizing it? Don't forget, personality is a way of life.
You are watching Crime Fighters, the police and you. Stay tuned.
Do you know how painful this case was? The hoodlums swindled them.
We needed some money and I begged them to help me get the money from.
Now, Mr. Toby, tell me, how much did they give you and your wife?
He didn't give us anything.
I spoke to your wife and she said they gave her something. Now tell me how much. Stop lying.
He gave us $200.
$200?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Toby, what if I tell you that the robbers that came to your house and shot your mother, they stole $50,000 and you have been given $200?
They stole $50,000, but they only got $200 out of $50,000.
Mr. Toby, you killed your mother because of $200. Your mother that take care of you, that nurture you from small to this level. You killed your mother because of $200, Mr. Toby.
I want us to talk on the lessons learned in this particular story.
Well, number one, every lady out there, watch the guy you are going out with. If he's a chronic cheat, liar, gamble, there is no money he cannot spend, and he clubs like anything, watch out, you may be dealing with an antisocial person, which you may not enjoy later in life, because it will cause trouble or will get involved in crime and it will affect you. If you are not involved, it will affect you. So that's that. So everybody should be aware, because this thing we're talking about is a way of life. They cannot hide it. You relate with them 1, 2, 3 weeks, you will see it in them. And I think everybody that listens to me today should watch. And if you need to read more about it, read more about it so that we can know. But, well, psychologically, this group of people can be helped. But helping them will take some time. But research also has visited that as they are growing older, the tendency for the behavior to come out will start going down. It goes down gradually. But that does not mean it's still not there. So for treatment, yes, they can be. What we do generally is we don't aim at changing the behavior, the personality. Because if you aim at changing somebody's personality, you will make the person clumsy. It will not have pattern, it will not have order again. So what we'll do is to deal with the problematic aspect of that personality. If he fights too much, we deal with fighting. Many of them have anger issue. If he has this anger issue, we do anger management. And all the issues that we see that is causing problem to him, at least the one I handled someone is a first-class material. He was employed in 6 different places within 6 months. What is the cause? He will always fight with someone, he gets incarcerated and all that. So when he came, what I simply look at was, I discovered that anger is a major problem, because the pattern is this. He will get angry in an argument, it will result into a fight, and he will be arrested and locked up. He will not show up in the office for a week. He will be he will be sacked. And when he come out of the police station, because he's brilliant, he's getting another job. And that's it. So after the 6 jobs that he got consecutively, there was no job offer coming in again for about 3 years. And that was where the parents felt, if I can help. And we have to look at what made that to be. And everybody looking at the CV realized that you are employed 6 times in 6 months, what happened? So nobody wants such a person. And simply what we did was just to try and look at the problematic aspect of that behavior. It's much more than what I am saying now, but we just try to modify. And today he has a stable job. He still have some anger issue, but fighting is not there again because you can manage them to that extent. So that's the kind of help that is out there. We can help them to get better and be able to live among people such that their behavior will not be negative to themselves, to the next person, and to the entire society.
Thank you. What's your lessons here?
For me, I just want to align with what the psychologist actually said about knowing that somebody needs help at a very early age and then sourcing for that help. Unfortunately, also in Nigeria, we don't know how to visit strings. We like visiting pastors and imams, and then they see everybody as a witch, or the person has a banjo, or has one husband, and whatever. So for me, I think it's more, parents being open to seeing psychologists as against seeing their pastors and their imams or a native doctor who says that their child has one. For me, it's aligning with what he just said. Seeing a psychologist is the best way to actually.
Mrs. Aluko.
My takeaways from this still comes back to the family. Parents need to be careful. Don't raise children with entitlement mentality. You need to be able to check your children. If there are issues that need help, seek help from when they are small so that they can be addressed. And at the end of the day, you won't regret.
It's on this note we say thank you to our panelists.
The police in this country is up and doing. We are ready to ensure that we fight crime to the lowest level that we can. And Mr. President has given us all the support and the cooperation to do this. The equipment, the vehicles that we have that we are going to continue to be using in order to fight crime. In particular is the data crime department, where we have machines that will capture crimes from wherever you are committing a crime, it will be captured. And we also have command and control room here, where we can talk to all police formations and we can monitor situations across the country and continue to render support to wherever a crime is being committed.
These are some of the pilots we have in the Nigeria Police Force Air Wing that are keeping the country safe and making the Nigeria Police proud. Crime fighters, the police and you.